live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here, sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. Welcome to the Crypto Lifer Show. How's that mic? Check. Oh, shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here, sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. Let's get that music back up and running. Make sure it's not going to blast your ears off. Let me just get it going here. But hope you're having a wonderful morning, wonderful day. God bless you on this beautiful, beautiful day. It's 7:13 in the morning here in beautiful, sunny, really hot, but actually beautiful. This morning was nice here in Las Vegas. So shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for kicking it with the lifer. Appreciate each and every one of you for jumping on in. Let's break down Bitcoin like we do every single day, see what's happening. Looks like it's dumping. Are we going to hold 108,000? Are we going to go further to the downside? And that's kind of the question for the day here for BTC. Oh, let me get my right monitor up. There we go. LV, baby. Yeah, I switched it to the center last night. All right. Hope you're having a wonderful day yet again. 108,300 Bitcoin taking a dump. We saw that we were in a symmetrical triangle last night. I said we had to hold the 1 hour 200 MA. If we started to lose the 1 hour 200 MA, you're going to start falling further to the downside. That's my go-to for getting out of a long, saying, you know what? It's not great. We don't have beautiful bullish divergence on the bounce. And once you lose the 1 hour 200 MA, you're likely to head down to the 2 hour 200 MA. You see how this works? You lose a 1 hour 200 MA, you go further down to the 2 hour 200 MA. And again, there's supportive resistance waiting for us right here at 107,155. You can see Bitcoin clearly coming either for a double bottom or falling out. This measured move of the symmetrical triangle is further to the downside at 104,605. We're going to zoom out, look at the bigger picture, and find out what's happening to the weekly. Because remember, the weekly had tweezer tops. If the weekly closes a tweezer top today, that's going to show downside. You could come back down to the 21-day moving average. Everyone's telling you it's going to keep pumping. You look at Twitter, it's on the way up. Everything, it's just nobody sits down and actually looks at the charts and says, you know what, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm going to take it one step, one day at a time. And that's what we do here on the channel every single day. We just take an open-minded approach to Bitcoin. We day trade it if it's there. I swing trade it if I see something, or I leave it alone until I have a better opportunity to make some gains, I bought 84,000. I bought about $160,000 worth of Bitcoin between 74K and 84,000. I kept loading up. 81 was a big load up for me. 78,000 was a big load up point for me. And why did I do that? I looked at the fear and greed index, everybody, and it's pretty simple to me. When this thing was down all the way, alternative.me has a fear and greed index. Whenever that thing is down at 10, I'm in there. You can also see it on Coin Market Cap, a bunch of different places. Whenever it's down near a 10, I'm buying. It tells me there's going to be you don't have an option. Think about it. If you're in the game 10 years, 20 years, you've been trading 20 years. I started trading when I was 20 years old. I bought my first stock. Didn't really know what I was doing, but it took time as I continued to kind of go at different investments throughout my life. The thing is, each time, I got into something, I watched it, I saw as time passed, and I saw that there was fear and there was greed, right? And then there was discounts and there was premiums. If you can't buy the top, what can you buy, right? If you can't buy the highest greed, then what can you buy? You have to buy the low fear. There's nothing else you can do. You see what I'm saying? There's just nothing else you can do. Like, you don't have an option here. You're not a whale. We don't control the market, so I got to get in where I can fit in. Bitcoin taking a dump. See, this is kind of a head and shoulder pattern too. Like, it's got some head and shoulder vibes to it. It's not perfect, but you see this is like got a shoulder, that's head, kind of multiple shoulders. Also, this looked like a bit of a bear flag forming to the downside. That has a measured move. It takes you through the VRVP to the high volume node. You can see there's liquidity right there at 106,759. Another thing, I've always seen this. It's many, many times. Bitcoin loves to dump during the Bitcoin conference. I tell you what, I could almost bet on it. Last time Trump came out, he had a great speech. I remember I made a really good trade in Nashville. I was up like $5,000 or something like that. I sold the trade. Boom, we were away for the 21. The second he got off the stage, that was our top for about a couple months. We topped out. So, it's weird, but the Bitcoin conference, I don't want to say anything, but it always seems to correlate with some type of pullback for Bitcoin, right? So the weekly, this closes Sunday night. That's tweezer tops. Every single time the weekly has closed a tweezer top, we have had a pullback for Bitcoin. Whether it's small or big, we've had a pullback. So if you sit there and watch a tweezer top close and you act like it's not, that we can't come all the way back down, maybe even 92.8, right? And I'm open-minded we could hold 100K. I'm open-minded we can hold 98,000. And there's some strong daily support and resistance, but you got to be open to any single possibility. I know nothing. I know nothing but the fact of my own ignorance. Bitcoin could go all the way back to 50K if it wanted to. All these people think things can't happen. They get into a coin. Oh, there's no way that coin could go lower than that. It can always go lower. Something you don't think can always happen. The more you just tell yourself you have no clue and you're trading probabilities, the better off you're going to be every single time, no matter what. Trust me. I mean, you can tell yourself what's going to happen. You can, I think this is this. They're going to play futures. Every day in my trading group, I see someone who tells me what they think is going to happen to the market. And at the end of the day, we always say, well, how did that work out for you? Thinking, you do not want to think, all right? You just want to trade. Shout out to everybody here. Let me just take a look at the chat. Can't hear. Music's too loud. Mike sounds like it's inside of you, somebody says. Double check your comment. Stop talking. Sam, check your mic and music at the beginning of the stream. I don't think he has all the screens. He has a Bitcoin. Can barely hear you, they say. Damn, man. Really? I don't know. Everything seems the same as it was yesterday. Hey, good. Oh, there we go. That's better, right? Shout out to everybody here on the live. There it is. So sorry. That was low audio and I couldn't tell. I didn't know. That's better. I felt there was why we were only at the 1,400 people. I could tell something was going on the stream. We need music. There you go. Your music is louder than you are. Music is a little low. Wow. Right? We're good about now, right? Music is good. Sounds good now. All right. Music is a little louder than it used to be. Yeah, because I can't hear the mix that they can hear. That's the problem. I just got to find a level that makes sense. It's a little lower now than it should be. Anyway, then you get latent comments too, and so it comes in. Anyway, let's get back to track here for Bitcoin. So, yeah, what I see happening here, turn the headphones down a little bit. What I see happening here is Bitcoin probably coming back down to the 21-day moving average. Like, this is definitely something that I could see happening. It's just, you got to start taking this into account. So I could see Bitcoin pull back. We could pull a Fibonacci here. Does it come all the way back down to the 618? Does it bounce off? I almost want to use this impulse here because we took off from here. And there's a 618 Fibonacci sitting right there at about $100,000 BTC. So could we come back to 100K? There's weekly support at 105,000. It would be great if we just kind of go sideways like this. But this could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks of sideways price action for Bitcoin. It could be good for the altcoins. Give them a chance to kind of, maybe some of them could, mature a little bit. Some money could flow out of Bitcoin back into the altcoins. We're going to take a look at how to figure that out. Later on in the show, we're going to blow your mind. We're going to look at 2 different charts. We're going to look at the probabilities. I'm going to show you how to find altcoin season. Everyone's going to tell you when altcoin season's coming. I'm going to teach you how to find it yourself. You won't have to listen to anybody else, all right? How to find the probabilities for altcoin season. So Bitcoin, weekly doesn't look amazing if it closes like this. Every single time the weeklies close like that, you have to take that into account. 5-day chart as well. I always take a look at that 5-day and the 3-day chart. 3-day chart starting to form the flag. Almost looks like it's, a slow bleed further to the downside. This flag looks amazing. I talked about it before. It has a measured move. This is good consolidation, everybody. You got above 100K. You made a new all-time high. Now you just want to see Bitcoin consolidate above its previous high. If Bitcoin can stay above this level here, 106,004, we have ourselves a pretty good chance that we could just continue to rip. This could be a 9 to 12-day sideways price action before we make a massive move to the upside. All right, so that's kind of what I'm looking at here for BTC. Need to increase the volume, Fred. The volume is fine. Sell the news. There it is. Let's go. Yeah. Fix the sound. Hard to hear you again, somebody says. More microphone volume. So the mic's got to be up super loud, I guess, huh? You got to get the mic up like all the way. Sorry, I turned the headphones down, not the mic down. I didn't want you guys to get blasted out by like a dual, hearing it twice in the headphones. I can hear myself in there, but volume is still low. Mic's too low again. Sound is back like before. All right. So sorry. So sorry. Here we go. I'm ready to rock. I turned the mic down accidentally. Yeah. These guys are cooked. Thank you, master friend. Don't listen to them. God bless you, man. Thank you. His bros is good. Thank you. Sammy, the mic seems very sensitive to your distance from it. All right, so if I pull back, I got to be like a lot closer to it. All right. I got you. All right, so Bitcoin forming a nice little flag here on the 3-day chart. I'm getting into the moment. I feel good right now. Life is good. Mic is way too, man, I'm done. Now it's too hot. Now it's this. I'm not listening. I'm good. My team's around me. I got Rob here in Sin City Crypto. We're doing good. Everything is perfect now. Thank you so much. Yeah. So I like what we're seeing, and I'm looking for this 21-day moving average to come into price action. I mean, we know how the story goes. You do not pump away from the 21. I mean, that was a beautiful move. Look how many days you've been ripping. Just a 9-day, a 12-day consolidation would be beautiful for BTC. So that's kind of what I'm looking at here. Now, is there a trade on the smaller time frames? I got BitNX open. I got weeks. If I see something, I'm going to say something. We're going to jump on in. The daily. Let's take a look at the daily. Last night, the daily started to look like it was in a symmetrical triangle. We all know what symmetrical triangles do. They mainly break to the what? To the downside. So that's kind of what we're looking at here, a break to the downside for the symmetrical triangles. All right. Mr. Price, the man of the hour, too sweet to be sour. Your volume is perfection. I know. God bless you, brother. I don't listen to anybody else. I'm doing my thing now. I'm on the grind, bro. I can hear it. I can see the levels. The levels are great. I did this for a long time. I worked in this industry for a long time. I'll give you a little more mic if you want, but then we'll get distorted. So there's a fine line between distortion and what you want. Yo. So Bitcoin. And that was a distortion. See? So Bitcoin. If it breaks up, it gets all the way here to what? 119,842. That's the key level that I'm looking at for BTC to rip to. Oversold on the stochastics, but I've seen that cross the dotted line and a massive dump. You really want to look at your RSI, and I'll tell you right now, I know people won't teach you this, but divergences. That swings up. While that swings up slightly, you keep pushing that way, you keep pushing that, they're going to divide each other somewhere around here. You see what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm saying? You pull this trajectory, and let's follow that trajectory all the way, and then we follow this trajectory. Clearly, they're going to intersect. If these lines will divide, you have divergence. That's what divergence is. People don't understand that. But divergence is when the two lines actually collide. You see what I'm saying? They're dividing each other. It's divergence. So with that being said, that's a bearish div right there. Even though a lot of people won't pick up on it and won't see it as such, it is also a rising wedge. Rising wedges break down 68% of the time. You have yourself a rounded top. You seem to be kind of, bearishly retesting this trend line. So as I look at this slightly differently, I see a bearish retest and a possible drop here on the daily time frame. And now that I didn't, just a little bit, but shoulder, this is not far-fetched, but shoulder, head, right shoulder, that makes a move to the downside. We come to the 50-day moving average, right? Which coincides with the 2-hour, 200 MA, and then further moves down with the 1 hour. So you can see how the smaller time frames and the bigger time frames are kind of in cahoots here, showing signs of a bigger move to the downside. So it could be the end of this rally for the next few weeks. It may not have been sell in May. It was sell the last day in May. You get it? Sell the last day in May and go away. We had a huge rally. A bunch of coins did well. Solana holding some key levels. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about xAI that did a huge pump yesterday. We thought, we nailed that one. You saw me take over $5,000 in profits yesterday on the live stream. And so, that's probably going to be it for the week. I mean, that was the monster move. I hit what I needed. Had I stayed in that trade, I would have made even more, right? You saw that it ripped further to the upside after I got out. The liquidity didn't matter. So what I'm seeing here is a breakdown. Like, it was a symmetrical triangle. There was a chance we were breaking up. We were doing well. The 4-hour has just lost the trend line. Now, unless we wick back inside, to me, that's a bearish sign. So now I'm getting bearish signs for Bitcoin. And now you want to start looking at the bearish measured move, which is the length of the base here. And that takes you back to liquidity, $103,000 BTC. So yes, it doesn't look amazing right now for BTC by any means, shape, or form, right? You tell me. If you think this is bullish, you tell me. I don't see, my system tells me it's not too bullish and to be careful. But you do whatever makes you happy. I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing I say and do here should be taken as financial advice. All right. So yeah, that's looking bearish to me. Let's take a look at the 1 hour time frame. It lost the 200 MA. That's a sign of bearishness for me. It rolled over last night. Look, it made a descending triangle. If I was, the time change is a little hard for me, but that's bang. Look at that, right? Descending triangle to the downside. Those break down 90% of the time. Whenever I see those, I am bearish as heck. And it had kind of a head and shoulder vibe to it. While these were like right shoulders vibing out. So again, I don't want to be overly bearish, but I see, and again, it looks like a beautiful bullish consolidation on the bigger time frames. It doesn't, not saying it's going to be the worst dump ever, but I'm just showing you, I don't know if we're going to get a huge pump today for BTC. 15-minute also oversold, breaking below the 200 MA, and that was a bear flag. And you can see the shoulder, the head, the right shoulder. Bitcoin showed the head and shoulder to you right there. Shoulder, head, right shoulder. We broke to the downside. Remember, I've only been up. I woke up at 5:45, got my suit on, got together in the hotel, took a cab over to Sin City Crypto, spent the next 30 minutes getting the stream ready, and now I'm here ready to rock. So I didn't have much chance to react with the time difference. So can we get a bounce? Does it make it, what you're looking for if you get a bounce is an inverted head and shoulder of some type, right? That could get us back inside this pattern, call it a breakdown, a fake breakdown of some type. Bookmap has way more liquidity to the downside. I will tell you, I got Bookmap running here on my laptop, and I could show you if I hold this power button. But right here, you can see Bookmap running pretty nicely. And you can see there's definitely more liquidity to the downside. Tomorrow I'll get Bookmap running for you guys, so have no fear. And yeah, it was low there. I left the mic. I could see that. All right. 107,900. Is there going to be a scalp opportunity for Bitcoin? Only time will tell. I'm going to see if there is, and we're going to find out today. So right now, getting a possible bounce. What are we bouncing off of? Why are we bouncing? Let's take a look. The 200 MA, the 45-minute 200. Is it the 30-minute? Nope. The 15, the 7, the 3, the 1. So look, everything is below the 200 MA. The 1 minute attempting its beautiful reversal that it does. Those cup and handle inverted head and shoulders off of the bullish div. Do we have some bullish divergence? We do. This swings down while that swings down, and that swings slightly up. You can always double-click your RSI. If you want to see a little more information, you double-click the RSI, you're going to get that information, right? You double-click the MACD, you're going to see the MACD by itself. You double-click price action, you're going to see price action by itself. Whatever you double-click, you're going to see completely, right? So here we are. I mean, to me, I would bear flag this out like so. And it looks like that's got a long pole that could continue further down. So I see more bearishness for Bitcoin here for sure. As we head, they could go down to 106,700. So, yeah, Bitcoin does not look amazing to me. I got to be honest with everybody. And, wow. Yeah, that's a bear flag. You're overbought on the stochastics RSI, but you didn't get above a previous local high. See, stochastics RSI, I'm going to teach you something about how to trade with them. They trade in, basically back and forth with support and resistance. All right, big deal. So support and resistance goes hand in hand with the stochastics RSI. And what do I mean? Well, the stochastics RSI is always going to be trending inside of a cycle. See, that's the beauty of trading or in a data set, right? Scientists, they need a data set. You need to see something that we have a variable and a control whenever you do a science data set. The variable here and the control. So the variable is price action changing around. The control is that the stochastics are going to go to the lower, to the higher, to the lower, to the higher, to the lower, to the higher, right? And that's just what you're going to see. Man, doing the trash right behind me. But see this look here? Bang. And this is what it is, man. You know what I mean? This is live streaming from the streets of Las Vegas, baby. Here we go. But look at this. The idea is you had a high. You came down, you made a low. You came all the way back to the previous energetic high because this is measuring energy of the stochastics RSI. Once you had the energetic high, bang. You didn't get above the previous high. And that tells me that we're struggling. Now, the same thing occurs on the other side. If we come all the way back down on the Stokes, but yet we somehow make a higher low, then I know we have strength back to the upside. We're looking for this to make a shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder and pump back to the upside for BTC. Looks like we may get some type of squeeze here just back for a second. And again, it's not all bearish. Maybe there's a chance. But if you really look at the 3-day and the bigger time frames, it looks like we're getting a bull flag. We're going to range between 106 and 109 or 105 and 110, something like that, and create a bigger bullish rectangle for more moves to the upside. Is this good for altcoins? No. They're going to slump around, and they're not going to like Bitcoin's pumping to the downside. So that's why I sold my TARS AI trade. And, I'm not on any more swing trades right now for altcoins. What am I doing at the present moment in time? Transparent Sammy. Right now, I'm always trading BTC pairs with BTC. That's the first thing I'm doing. I'm trading Bitcoin pairs for Bitcoin. So I'm using Bitcoin, all right, as collateral, or and I'm using that to trade for more Bitcoin. So that's the one thing I'm always doing on the futures account. And then I'm also running the Minotaur bot. If you go to my Twitter and check it out, we got the Minotaur trading bot, and it's also in my link below. That thing is always moving. It's always finding ways to take profits. And if we keep dumping, it loves drawdowns. When we dump the most, that's when it makes the most money. It's able to keep buying into these dumps and take the best advantage of the move. So I like the Minotaur trading bot. It does really well when the market goes against you. When you might not know how to trade, you might not be great. You might be a good long trader, but you're not great at shorting yet, or you not know how to manipulate the market or use it to your advantage when the market slips on you. The Minotaur trading bot's going to help you do that. I believe I'm hooking up with Minotaur today. I'm going to be seeing them either today or tomorrow, and that's going to be awesome too. So shout out to Minotaur. We love you guys. We appreciate it, and it's super, super nice to see you guys coming out all the way to Vegas too. It's a long trip for them. Australia is not easy, man. It's like me flying to Dubai, those 14-hour flights. So here we are with Bitcoin. You're always looking for the reversal. The 1 minute tends to reverse the same way over and over again. It makes a Sammy cup and handy. That's why we call it Sammy cup and handy to the upside. If you're learning anything from me, you're going to learn about how the daily reverses. You're going to zoom into the 1 minute and watch how the daily actually reverses. We do this almost every single day on the channel. Habitually, over and over again, we take advantage. Now I know for the day to go bullish, Bitcoin's got to rip. And it's eventually the first thing that has to happen in the next, I'd say, hour, 3 hour tops. You got to get back above the 200 MA, the yellow line. If you don't do that, the bears are in control. It's likely we're getting that pullback on the weekly or the bigger time frames. The 1 minute will tell you what's going to happen to the weekly. They're all, think about it. If I took one step and I hurt my toe, my little toe, and I didn't notice it at first, and then I kept walking, and after 2 miles, eventually something happened where, like, maybe, Jason Tatum, his Achilles burst the other day. I'm just, God bless him. I hope he heals well, and the Celtics are down and out. But my point is, you get injured, but it starts with a tiny little injury, all right? Same thing here. Like, if you look at like a bear move and injury, which is, the bearish and a bullish move are both good. You could get you can make money on either of them. So there's no, you don't want to negatively connotate a bearish move because you can make money on a bearish move. You want to flip the charts upside down and see how you're looking. I mean, that almost looks shoulder, head, right shoulder. Like, it almost looks like, is that really going to continue up? Like, if you were looking at this in an uptrend. But, what I see is bearish. Like, I'm telling you right now, Bitcoin has to get back above this level here now, 108,002. That's going to be serious resistance for Bitcoin now. And as you watch the smaller time frame struggle, you're going to learn basically what levels need to be taken back for you to actually get long again. Now, you can wait for a divergence, and you can just... See, I would long divergences a lot here, and I would attempt to find the actual bottom. I would turtle soup this bottom, and a lot of times I'd be wrong or right. It wouldn't be perfect, Again, I hit some amazing legendary bottom calls on the live. But I learned that this area is the treachery area. I learned that this is where nothing is solidified. They could rip it up. They could come get resistance. They could rip it down. If anything, right now, as far as me as a trader, this is the most bearish. This is a bearish scenario. Like, this is bearish because the bulls now have to get. Look, you had a bounce, you had a resistance. The bulls have to get you back above this level now, 108,200. If the bulls can't get above 108.2, there's no way the rest of the day is going to go the way it's supposed to go. Right? It's not happening. So this is kind of what I'm looking at here. See if I bring this up a little bit so my head's not, I'm not leaning down so much. There we go. But shout out to Sin City Crypto for letting me use this beautiful studio, man. It's working out right now so far. So sorry about the audio at the very beginning. I'll work on it. I apologize. It's never easy traveling and using different setups, but we'll get it rocking for you, and we'll make sure you're comfortable. And I greatly apologize. I'll do better with my test streams, and I'll do better with double-checking my audio, man. I'm sorry. I should have noticed it. I got carried away with the charts, showing you guys the charts. So we're seeing if this cup and handle can break out, but to me, it looks far more bearish than bullish. It just doesn't look amazing. And is there a day trade to the downside? Possibly here. Am I going to take it? It's a little treacherous, and I'll tell you why. Well, there's just whenever I've had a banking holiday on Monday, I found the whole week is just completely thrown off. Like, it becomes a pretty sketchy week. And I'm not trying to say that as an excuse or anything. It's just something that I've seen many, many times. Because Tuesday becomes the false move, market and liquidity changes, and it's clearly not the same. It's not the same, right? Let's take a look at our Forex Factory and see what we're looking at today as we kind of head on in. And this will change too with the timing, right? FOMC minutes at 11 a.m. for me. This should be specific time for me because I'm on the computer, right? So this is going to change. But for you, it's, you go back. So that's 8 a.m. FOMC minutes on Wednesday. Today, nothing crazy here today. HPI, yeah, nothing, no red folder, nothing nuts. Let's take a look at Thursday. Thursday, we have the Japanese unemployment rate, which is kind of interesting to me because they're struggling. I like to get some information from there. And unemployment claims. So that's 8:30, yeah. So at 5:30 in the morning here, but 8:30 in the morning, we have unemployment claims coming on Thursday. That's going to adjust the market. People are going to watch that. Look for Thursday night to get weird. Price action will get tight. People will wonder what's happening. I could definitely see that going down. So Bitcoin dumping to the downside, like looking like it wants to tank. And like I told you, the bears are in control right now, and I see them flooding it. And Bitcoin conference day, man, they always seem to flood. It always seems to dump on one of the days I'm at the Bitcoin conference. I'm telling you right now. I have no idea why, but it just does what it does. Again, this is the biggest Bitcoin conference I've ever been to as far as attendees. You know, think about it. You had more people in the limelight too. You know, JD Vance, people that people know are going to be here. It attracted a lot. He's speaking today at 9 a.m. So in 1 hour, he'll be speaking right when I end my stream. He starts here in Pacific time. Will we get the bounce today? Honestly, I'm more bearish than bullish. I see more downside for Bitcoin. It doesn't look amazing. We'd have to get back above some key levels. It's clearly that the bears are in control right now. So what would be the move? You know, well, what I like to do too is when the 1 hour closed the candle below the 200 MA, you open up a short with a stop on the other side of that. Now, if we get to the 2 hour 200 MA, that's going to be our next area. Like I've seen it happen many, many times. I get rid of the moving averages for you for a second, but I mean the price action. And that's an M pattern there too. Look at it. As shifty as it is, it's a bit of an M. And that has a measured move to the downside. If we take the M, you go to the neckline, you swing that. That suggests that we do go lower. So I don't mean to be the bearer of bearish news. I don't like to like to be bearish during the Bitcoin conference. It's not my thing. But this looks like we are going to go lower. So is there a short to be had here? Am I going to short the market on BitTinex? Let's take a look. Last night we looked at BitTinex inside of this beautiful symmetrical triangle. We found this diamond yesterday. In the diamond, out the diamond. You go into the bottom, you go out the bottom. So the diamond, super, super, super bearish, right? And then a symmetrical triangle, they mainly break to the downside. My students know this. I know this. I teach it. I talk about it all the time. So bang, dumpage. Now, I was traveling, waking up at different times. If you're doing that, I suggest, unless you have a perfect handle of what you're doing and your mindset, you don't open random trades because you could get yourself rocked and wrecked. I like to trade when I see exactly what's going on. I'm in a good focused area. You don't have to force things. Remember, make the best trades, not every trade. The best traders make less trades every month. You don't have to overtrade. Remember that. So, and again, had I been up at the right moments, I feel like I would have given you the short pretty nicely. Shoulder head right there. You can see we're bearishly retesting the trend line. It's bearish. Even last night, we talked about if the 1 hour lost to 200 MA, that would be a bearish sign for me. I was looking for this bounce, though. I was looking for Bitcoin to bounce. Every time it did, it had bounced here, it had bounced here, it had bounced here. Every time we got these wickage and they were messing with the longs, we eventually got the bounce to the upside. But when you woke up this morning, when I woke up this morning and saw that we didn't bounce, the inverted head and shoulder did not play out. That was, number one, you had an inverted head and shoulder right there. It did not break out to the upside like it was supposed to, kind of like this one did. So, and then the bearish retest to the downside, 107,600 for Bitcoin. So, yeah, it's bearish. It is what it is. It looks like there could be some more downside. Now, do I chase green red candles? Preferably no. I'd look for a bearish retest, or again, same like I do here. You flip it upside down. And this is BitTinex. If you want to sign up to BitTinex, link is in the description or in the pinned comment. I greatly appreciate that. I do receive a commission. Thank you very much. For anyone that uses any of my links for any single reason, thank you. I really greatly appreciate it. It means the world to me. I never even thought that I never even knew that this world was like this. I never even knew there was this many people that would use your links, say what up, send you super chats, send you love. I had a lot of negative self-talk in my mind. I wasn't always there for myself personally, and I want to tell anyone, if you're doubting the world right now and you think that the world doesn't love you, there's so many people waiting to love you out here. You just got to become yourself and show them who you are. I was in a room all day. and I was depressed, and I never showed the world who I was. I knew I had so much to give, but I couldn't show the world who I was. You know, when we show our light around the world, that's how we help other people show their light, and that's how we free other people. You know, let them become free. Like, people become freed, but when you free yourself, and they can see it, you can't fake freedom. Like, I can't fake the fact that I go live every day on this live stream and I don't work for someone else. You know, that can't be faked. Everyone that comes here goes, man, that guy doesn't work for someone else. Like, that dude does his own thing. He trades for a living. He buys Bitcoin on the low. He swing trades. He made $5,000 yesterday. I saw him do it. It took him a couple days. You know, he put large money in a swing trade on an altcoin. Like, that's heavy, heavy risk that I took. Most people wouldn't be able to handle that risk that I do. I understand that. I've been living in risk for a long, long time. I can teach you basically how I use probabilities to stay, you know, pretty solvent in crazy, risky times. Most people are getting liquidated, rocked, and wrecked. 80% of traders are losing their money. I'm calmly, coolly just looking at the price action and taking advantage of it if I see something. If I don't, okay. Not forcing trades is really what has helped me in the long run become more profitable, because I realize that I don't have, you know, the market's not going to, I don't have to be there every 5 seconds. The market's going to provide an opportunity for me. Now, what you do have to do is observe. A lot of people stop observing. Like, they give up on the market for a few days and they go on a camping trip and stuff. But it's cool. But, like, observing is key. You don't even have to be trading, but just observing. Checking on a certain key level that you looked at. And that's why you should have TA that makes sense to you. So you can check on some key levels. This does look like it's going to make a move to the downside. Like, if anything, I do see a short. And I haven't opened up a short or talked about a short in a long time. But you got tweezer tops on the weekly. You got your daily. It's all there for you. You could. And again, what I love about this channel is you may have been behind the 8 ball. Maybe you did take a vacation, and now you're here, and you're gonna get that, you know, that awesome sauce of exactly what's happening. You ever use this tool and it disappears on you whenever you're not using it? Right click it, go to settings, go to style, scroll down and hit always show stats, and that's gonna always show the stats for you right there. You're ready to go. Okay. Resistance right there, too, at about 108,048. That's just, now 108K is going to be resistance for BTC. And so do we get a beautiful short squeeze to the upside? Let's take a look here. I got Bookmap on my right. I'll have it up and running hopefully tomorrow. Right now, the way I look at it, honestly, there's more liquidity to the downside than to the upside at the present moment in time. But we do have some short liquidity up to 108,800. I see a short squeeze right now. I mean, a long squeeze. And I see a stop above 107,900. Also, maybe they're getting people. Everyone went to the Bitcoin event. Maybe they're forgetting their longs. Yeah, I'm just joking around, but, you know. Am I opening up a trade just now? No. To me, today's like a sketchy Monday. It's not a day where I would trade my model and my model only. What does that mean? I would wait for the 1 minute to cross the 200 MA. The 1 minute crosses the 200 MA. Boom. Look at that beautiful, they're going to go after, what I also think I've noticed is they're going after anyone who's leverage trading too hard. If you're leverage trading 100x, 50x, and you're really close to the bone, you're likely going to get taken out of the game. High probabilities you're going to get taken out here, okay? It just is what it is. I know when the market's sketchy, and I know when the market has better opportunity. Right now, the market is sketch. It is what it is. I'm just telling you. I can feel it, too. It's it's got an eerie vibe to it. You know, we had that huge, we pumped for weeks straight. I've never seen an asset go, 9 weeks? We never did 9 weeks straight. So look, that's almost a bearish retest. See, like it fell out, bearish retest, wants to drop further to the downside. It's almost like they want to punish anyone who jumped into the short a little early there. And then just, now again, when I put this up, I'm not in a trade. I want to make that very clear. I am not in a trade. Let me say that one more time. Personally, I am not in a trade. I don't know how you guys do it out here. You guys have to wake up so early. Shout out to all my people here on the West Coast. Shout out to Master Friend. I don't know how you do it, man. Like, I'm in the same time zone as you right now. It's 7:40 in the morning. Blessed, brother. Blessed. I wake up early, same time, but right now I have 2 hours to get ready for my stream. You know what I mean? I go over the charts. It's just, the East Coast really, really is so money. You know, I honestly, when you lose something that you've had, you kind of really respect it and miss it. I respect the East Coast time frame, man. Like, it's awesome. Like, they, I guess, New York, the market is poised towards us for us to win. It's hard. For me, it would be harder for me. Maybe not. I mean, I guess I'd get acclimated, but I feel it would be harder for me to make money on the West Coast than the East Coast. So I'm honing in on a short now. I can clearly see that, we did dump all morning, though. Do we get the bounce back to the upside? What's the bullish scenario? Let me paint a bullish scenario. Like, I don't see one. That's the thing. Like, I don't really see too bullish of a scenario. We talked about TAI ripping out this rising wedge, too. How did I see that? Rising wedges break out parabolically. When I saw this thing starting to rise, and it kind of had shoulder, head, right shoulder, I could see a move. This thing ripped all the way to 16. I was up $6 grand at 13 and a half. So we can only do the math there. Another 6-7 grand. It would have been like a $15,000 take. Is this going to continue to pump? Right now, the altcoins are watching Bitcoin. We'll take a look at this on the bigger time frame, TARS AI. And again, for a second, you're like, whoa. I make it nice and clean, and we'll take a look at it. But I was looking for this breakout for TARS AI, and we were watching it for a long time. Like, first we started looking at it down here. This is the first. Then it broke out. Then I kind of changed. I always look at the pattern and readjust how the market moves. I said I could see this thing continuing. Then the daily looked good to me, and it started to rip. And it said, hey, why wouldn't you take that measured move out the flag further to the upside? And this is what I was looking at. Like a pump all the way up here to about 22 cents here for TARS AI. And it may still do it. Now what we can do is I can wait for it to flag out and not lose the 21-day moving average. If it does that, then I'm in there like swimwear. Don't chase. Use technical analysis, right? And I know a bunch of you want to know about TARS AI, so I just wanted to put that out there. Shout out to the chat. Let me kind of take a deep dive into the chat here. How's everybody doing? May God bless each and every one of you for hanging on in there. I love y'all. Y'all the best. The sun won't set in long year till September. I don't know what that means, but God bless you, bro. Did you find it easier to go live in Dubai compared to the West Coast? No, Dubai was extremely difficult. Dubai was the hardest week of my life. Everyone said, I hope you had fun on vacation. It was the hardest working week of my life. I barely slept. I had to stay on. I made $8 grand. Remember that? It was unbelievable. We pushed through. Shout out to Jamie. We love you, Jamie. Irish Aries Matt Stevens. I love you, my brother. My Irish brother. My Aries brother, man. Shout out to all my awesome people here that hold the lifer down no matter what. Every single time. No matter where I go. No matter what happens. You guys are awesome. You really got to grind it out on the West Coast. Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy. Nice suit, Sammy. Thank you. And I got pants on. We got pants on and a Burberry belt, man. We don't play games. We're ready to go here. Ready to go. Got myself some new shades, too. I got some new shades at the airport. I just was feeling myself. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy some shades today. Nitro and Barry, good entry in your opinion. Also, opinion in Urine Finance. Thanks a lot. If you want me to go over coin, send in a TA for TA, send in a super chat for TA and deep dive, and I'll talk about the coin. We'll go over it. Heck, we'll even look at the market cap, see, where I see it possibly going in the bigger time frame. So get yourself a price prediction, anything. Again, none of I say is taken as financial advice, but, it definitely some good probabilities there inside of the charts that can teach us a lot. And so I always go over that stuff. Homie with the fit check. Amen. Sammy looking like a trophy. The dude stays fresher than Febreze. Shout out to Vegas Claw. Where you at, man? Vegas Claw. I'm in Vegas. So now when I see your name, I'm like, where is Vegas Claw? Shout out to Gotta's Love. I saw him last night out of nowhere. I'm just walking through the hotel, and he's like, Sam? I look up, and he's like, what up? It's Gotta's Love, bro. And I'm like, yo, you're the man, dude. And, we have such a really cool group of people. Today is the Bitcoin meetup. Today is the Crypto Lifer meetup. It's going to be in the Venetian. It's exclusive to the group. We already have like a booked group of people, so I can't wait to meet everyone that's coming to meet me today. God bless you all, everyone. Thank you so much for everything. Seriously. Thank you so much, man. Some Cartier to match the suit. Nah, we keep it on the road. Love from Belgium. Thanks for all the live and trading lessons. Good vibes. Only when one becomes a lifer, man. God bless you, brother. Shout out to Lottie, Crypto Lifer. Thank you so much. All the way from Belgium. We got people holding me down around the world. God bless you. God bless you. Shout out to Margaret Ness. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Bang, bang, bang. Me and Crypto Billy already hung out last night. We had a blast. We had such a good time, man. It doesn't take me an hour to find Crypto Billy. He's in the same city as me, and we were hanging out, having a blast. Good dude. Amazing guy. Does a lot for the space, does a lot for everyone's channel. If he finds someone if he sees someone that really is about what they're doing and they're pushing themselves, he's gonna help you. He's gonna support you. He's gonna believe in you, whether it's a call here and there, whether he's there for you, whether he even, helps put together some type of business plans for you, man. The guy is amazing, super smart. And there should be more men like that come into a new space, take their old, take their information from how they made it and in their way of business and align that with people in a new industry. And that's what he's doing, man. Super smart dude. I'm very, 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 very proud to consider myself a good friend of Crypto Billy, man. If you're a friend of Crypto Billy, it means you're a grinder. He's not hanging out with you if you're not a grinder, man. And he loves everybody, but he likes to grind with the grinders. That's what grinders do. We grind with the grinders, man. So look, this looks more and more like a descending triangle. You see it? See how it's starting to form? And this is what happens. It's the same thing if we flip this upside down. Let's do our flip up. Starting to make a bit of an ascending triangle, right? How did I flip the chart upside down? I hit Alt-I. All right, that's going to flip the chart upside down for you, kind of show you how to look at it differently. Because sometimes you look at it and you're like, no, it's not bearish. But then you're like, but I would trade that bullish. So if you trade that bullish, then how can you say it's not bearish? You see what I'm saying? And that's how because I'm very stubborn. I have a very sometimes your mind can get one shocked. I think all humans can. I think the better off we tell ourselves we're stubborn, the more we can get over our stubborn nature. And so I know I'm stubborn. And you should also know your trading bias. Like, what is your trading bias? I know I'm overly bullish. So what I do is I trade flags. Let me show you something, actually. I want to explain this because a lot of people don't understand when I get hit at the end. Like, I traded that last flag at the top. I did get stopped out on that last flag, but I don't use what I made. I made 30 grand in the last few weeks, even less than that, like 10 days or something. And then I risked 2 grand of it to go for another 8 grand on top to see if we get to 38,000. You lose the 2 grand, you put your tails between your legs, you say, hey, at least we still made it. So let me explain. I got this vision and it hits me so fast. So Bitcoin comes, it makes the flag, it starts to pump, right? I took that flag, remember, on the daily? And I can actually go, let me show Bitcoin and show you what I'm talking about here. But this is so important because you may connect to this mentally deeply in a way, and it might help your trading career forever if I can get through to you real fast. So what I was saying is, remember, I found this daily flag. And I trade flags that sideways with the 21-day moving average. And I said, that's a beautiful flag for Bitcoin. I see a big move to the upside. We took that flag. We hit it. Then we took this flag, right? I saw consolidation. First, we took this flag, and we nailed that pump, if you remember. I sell because we're away from the 21-day moving average. And even when I sell, I think it's going to continue to pump. But I got to take profit. See, I've learned to just do one thing. So you always have two ideas in your head. You're always going to be like, well, what if it keeps going? And that's a really hard person to call. Like, that's a person inside of you, the keep going person. So you're going to have the take profit person and the keep going person. And they speak to you. They literally speak to you. The keep going person kind of like tells you you're going to miss out over and over again. Oh, but you meant to get 20K. You're only up 4 now. And it next thing you know, you're only up 1,000 and and you didn't take the profit. So for me, too many times in my life, I didn't take the profit. Now I just take the profit more often than I don't. And it pans out over time. Ends up becoming better off for me. You see what I'm saying? So that's just, how it is. That would be, if I do move it over there, then I'll be looking towards the charts. I get it. That's why I usually do that. Interesting. Yeah. Anyway, so the point of the story is Bitcoin kept pumping. Then it finally made another flag like on that 1 hour. And I said, you know what? I'm going to take it. And I told everyone on the live, we did a weekly screen share. I said, I dang well know they could stop everybody out. But usually because I have figured it was too easy of a short that they weren't going to let the short, but it was also too easy of a long where they're going to let the longs long. They did the bearish retest, and they dropped it to the downside. Bearish retest, look, you'll dump. You'll come back to that trend line and usually use it as support or resistance. See how you resisted that and dropped? The point is, once you know your bullish bias or bearish bias, you can trade with it. Understand? And use it to your advantage. So I know that I'm going to be overly bullish, but I'm going to make a lot of money on the way up when most people are going to start shorting early. So most people start shorting way too early, and they start getting wrecked. They give their exit liquidity, right? They provide the stepping stones for us to short squeeze to the upside. That's why we see the short liquidations on Bookmap. That's why we watch the red zones, right? So look, this to me is a short. I'm going to open up a short here for Bitcoin. It's sad. Open up a short on Bitcoin, on the Bitcoin conference. I'm going to short Bitcoin on the Bitcoin conference. Feels a little strange, to be honest. Maybe I won't. Let me take a look. But it says I can get to $106,084 is the take profit. Oh, it's funny. Oh, yeah, there we go. And then the stop is going to be The stop is going to be at about 107,823, right? And that's what I'm looking at. It's my first time shorting on BitDNX, right? Because we had such a big, long pump recently. So, but it definitely looks to me like a short's in order here, right? I mean, that you can see it. You can see it, and we're cascading down, and we've lost the 200 MA on the 1 minute time frame, the 1 hour, so it suggests that we're going further to the downside here for Bitcoin. Definitely looks like a short is in order for BTC. Shout out to Weeks. So many new listings on Weeks. You got to love it. Absolutely amazing. And, you know, could this just be a hunt? We wick back inside. Next thing you know, we're pumping in the next few days, and everyone said, I told you so. There's a chance, right? It's possible. I'm open-minded to this. I'll be one of the first people to catch the long if it's there because I'm open-minded to believe that anything is possible. If you're stuck on the fact that it can only go one way, then you're likely going to get rocked at one point. You see what I'm saying? They're going to catch you. They're going to catch you if you think you got it. You're better off telling yourself you know nothing. MOODENG and XLM, please, from Southern Yankee. Thank you so much. We'll take a look at MOODENG and XLM. I will tell you, now that Bitcoin's struggling, everything's going to have a problem, right? ETH is not having a big dump as Bitcoin. Interesting. We're going to take a look at Ethereum and see that. Is money flowing out of Bitcoin into the altcoins? That's what we're going to find out, all right? Look, they just kind of nipped it. What happened there? Oh, yeah, I just opened the trade. The trade just got finally opened there. And again, very low risk on this because I'm not, you know, not a huge trade. Thought rising wedges was bearish. You said it was bullish on TAI. Thank you for what you do. Your info is glue that makes indicators make sense. You got to watch my rising wedge video. If you're in the trading group, that you just made a really good point. If you're in the trading group and you're in the Discord right now, so you're hanging out in the Discord, I want you to go to the content directory, please. Everybody here, okay? There's a video that everyone's got to watch. It'll blow your mind. In here, I have so many cool ideas, right? Look, the rising wedge. Watch this video on the rising wedge because I teach you that sometimes it's bullish and sometimes it's bearish. Understanding how to trade the rising wedge right here. Look, how to trade the rising wedge. Okay? The rising wedge right here. How to trade the rising wedge pattern, right? This will blow your mind, this video. In this video, I basically, after they sell a commercial. But, you know, that video will blow your mind, man. And what that video is going to explain to you is how to use the indicators to figure out when you should switch. Understand? So we called bearish times here for Bitcoin. We called a short. It does look like we're going to short. Look, there's a shoulder, head, right shoulder there. We keep making lower lows. We've broken some key levels. It looks like Bitcoin's going down to 106,891 here. It's just that's what I see happening for BTC. So Bitcoin taking a beat down and you know, not looking amazing here. Just, you know. Also a sketchy day to trade, though. I'll be honest. Like, I'm not getting... It feels like a Monday. It feels like a false move Monday. Overall bearish for BTC. We'll see. It's starting to... It's trying to round the bottom here. But it doesn't seem to want to break this trend line, you see? Definitely has what I call a descending triangle vibe. Descending triangles have flat tops with, you know, basically nice lateral, you know, bottom downtrend. So that's, you know, a nice diagonal downtrend with the flat top there, likely further to the downside. All right. False move Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah, exactly. There's a VPVR screenshot for Bitcoin in the group. A VPVR. I think you're talking about the book map. I think, yeah. If you want to know how to set up your VPVR. So look, that's short. I'm calling Bitcoin down to 106,009. All right. It looks like we're going to be there in the next 10 to 20 minutes. I could be wrong, but that's what I see happening for BTC. Key level 2 psychological is 107.5. Once you lose 107.5, people are going to start going further to the downside too as well. So this is just, it is what it is, man. The only time alts follow Bitcoin is down. I know, right? So that's why, you know, I've been very weary with BTC. Let's take a look at Bitcoin dominance and Tether dominance. It's going to kind of tell us. This is why I want to teach you how to find alt season on your own. Everyone's going to tell you when alt season is. You don't need to listen to anybody else. You don't need to go to crypto Twitter. You don't need to watch 100 YouTubers. You can watch me for entertainment purposes only and for education. I believe it's a blast. I give a lot of awesome information. I know I do because I learn from my own stream. Every day when the stream ends, I'm like, man, that was good information. Like, I get to rethink through my thoughts. This stream helps me put my thoughts in order every day. It's like a diary. It's a public diary. We go over the charts. We go over what we do. We go over all the opportunities, and we go from there. You know, we're breaking the big trend line on the daily. Yeah. Ooh, that's juicy on the short. Yeah, I'm looking for a short down. I'm looking for a short down now. And I haven't shorted the market in a long time, right? When's the last time I opened up a short? Because I don't short down uptrends. Like, and Bitcoin's been in a beautiful uptrend for a long time. But it has lost that 200 MA on the 1 hour time frame. And it's usually when we start to kind of trip a little further to the downside. So we're looking for this movement down here. No metric showing same value as 109 top before 70K dip. I sold there. The cycle is low. I'm buying the coming 1 to 2 week. Interesting. I don't know about that. The 100. I mean, bro, you look at other people requests, but told me I have no idea, man. You're getting crazy. So like, yeah. You're picking yourself out and thinking it's not. I don't even care. No offense. Yeah. Last year Bitcoin conference bullish up to the Trump speech, then dump. This year bearish up to the JDV Vance, then pump. Vance on stage, 9 a.m. Pacific. Shout out to Sin City Crypto throwing down with a 9.99. Didn't have to. That will come back to you tenfold, man. In any way, shape, or form. Anyone that helps this channel, because I worked so hard to create it, is going to come back to you tenfold if you give anything to it. I'm telling you right now, man. Because the energy, the vibration is high. You know, that's a good idea. I would love to see a bounce. I'm telling you, what goes down must come up. We're starting to get a bullish divvy on the 1 minute time frame. See how the RSI is starting to trend up? Price action could reverse here back to the upside. It just hasn't been that strong, you know, and we just keep staying in this like descending vibe. Show me that inverted head and shoulder. Show me the reversal. And we can get that move further to the upside here. I guess you could say we're in this like falling wedge at this point now. And that could attempt to break to the upside. You see that? The base of this pole. So what I do is I'm always looking to long. I'm looking to call the reversal today to see if we can get it. Remember, this is a very small short. It's like $50 or $250, $300 or something. I can't lose more than $50 in the trade, right? I'm not saying, hey, let's go full port of the short. Personally, I'm dipping my feet in the water just to see what's happening, but I'm not in love with it. I'm a little weary of trading today, honestly. The market doesn't look, it's giving me sketchy vibes. We get back above 107.9 and bounce 108,000, then this was the dump, right? We could possibly get the reversal. Let's take a look at the most bullish scenario for Bitcoin. I'm going to look at another chart and just flip my mind and say, okay, I'm all bullish. I don't want to see any bears at all. What is the most bullish scenario here for Bitcoin? How can this thing flip more, in a different way? The charts, they're pretty arbitrary, like just looking at the probability. Probability is, looking more to the downside too as well. I mean, the daily doesn't look amazing. Look at it. It would have to pump back inside and turn this into a symmetrical. It could, and then we'd wick back in there. Hey, we are getting the pump back to the upside now. It looks like it could take out my stop at 107,800. But so for me, the daily would have to get back inside this trend line. The 4 hour this would have to turn into a wick on the 4 hour. You'd have to get back inside. I don't know. To me, it's a pretty solidified break to the downside. Could be they've been faking out a lot. They've been doing a lot of false moves. But even when you try to bring this trend line this way, I don't like when the trend line loses the 45. Once you start losing the 45 of the trend, see the 45-degree angle there. Once you start losing into this area, you're getting into sketchy times, sketchy places. It's not amazing. So yeah, you got some support here. Possible bounce for Bitcoin. You have a lot of chop. So 107,006 says maybe. But I'll be honest, because you broke the 200 MA on the 1 hour so definitively there, and you closed 2 candles now below it, I got a call for a move likely to the 2 hour 200 MA. Just looks like we're going to drop. And if you lost this high volume node, look, the next area is the giant gap all the way to 103,400. So you can see how we can clearly get to 103.4. That area is meaty. There's a lot of meat and potatoes there. So we get to that key area, anything could happen, right? That's just that, and that would be a balance area. Like that's it. I would start stacking limit orders at 103K because that's the lowest area where you could get a pretty nice bounce to the upside. So my most bullish scenario is somehow Bitcoin bounces here, and like this is, but then that would be, you can't even wick that because you have 2-hour candles now outside of the pattern as well. You're below that line, and look, the RSI is even, look, a shoulder, a head, a right shoulder on the RSI. So you can see patterns inside the RSI for sure. That says more downside. The RSI, the 2-hour, hasn't even hit the dotted line yet. So I'm bearish, man. I'm staying on my bearishness. I say this dumps. I'm pretty good at probability. The probabilities tell us to the downside. Let's see if I can make some gains here, and people in the chat can follow this probability. But look, there it is. Boom. Boom. 107.397. There's the short. And we nailed it, right? Again, it's tiny. Let's not get too crazy here. But it's looking like the descending triangle. I'll tell you what. Descending triangles break down 97% of the time. 90% of the time. Like 90% of the time when I see a descending triangle, we're going to dump. Flip it upside down. It's a beautiful ascending triangle. It looks like it's in an uptrend with that parabola. You know you've seen parabolas. Let me show you. What do you mean parabola? What are you saying, Sam? Well, look, like, see this? It starts to go what I say is parabolic. That's a parabolic move, right? Same way when you're bearish. You're going to round that down. Look, 107.2896. I told you this thing was dumping. I told you it was going to dump. You could see the probabilities were correct. All right? I'm just good at reading probabilities. I have no idea where Bitcoin's going to go. But if you're in the short right now, who's in the short making gains? Put a 333. If you're in the short making gains, shout out to BitConnect with the opportunities by these exchanges. They give us ability to make money every single day, no matter which way the market's going. You know what I'm saying? This is beautiful. Resistance at 106,800. Okay. You mean support? Just DCAing and waiting on alt season. Thanks for the 584 likes. Shout out to everybody here on the live. 2,246 people here on the live. 583 likes, $80 in chat revenue. You people are unbelievably amazing. And look at that beautiful call. Look, cat ears. You saw the cat ears too? That's cat ears right there, baby. To the downside. What is cat ears in trading? You know. You know. And, you know, Google is your friend. Grok is your friend. I ask Grok anything like this, you know, cat ears in trading. And you go to images. And they got the cat ears pattern right here. Not these. I always do this joke, right? Not these. You know, not these. This one right here. That's cat ears. To the downside. 2 double tops. Basically a double top. We call it the cat ears pattern, right? Here's another version of it here. Beautiful cat ear. Okay? And you can see how that plays out. Funny, one thing I did it, and it was my... I remember one day I did this, and I found it was me, like... It was somehow one of my posts came out. Like it was I was going over a chart. And it was like, I can't remember what it was, but it was look at this dump to the downside for Bitcoin. 107,189, taking the meat and potatoes off the table here. Just getting completely annihilated BTC. So you can see that, yes, more downside. And when I look at Bookmap, we got liquidity all the way to $105,000. So if we go to 105,000, do not be amazed. At this point, you could even move the stop loss to break even. Do that 100 times over and see which one wins. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a bullish retest now. We come all the way back up to retest the same exact area at the entry. We'll see. Yeah, Peak and Bear, Bloodbath. Ride in the short, 14% ROI. Tomorrow, ADA, ETF. That's crazy, right? I don't go by this new stuff, though. I just take a look at the charts. The charts told me there was movement to the downside. That's what we could see happening for BTC. Wow, man. We fell out the symmetrical triangle. These symmetrical triangles mainly dump. They dump 97% of the time. The second we got tight in here, and it was a chance. You know, I'm open-minded. Anything could have happened. That's why I got to stay open. We don't know it was going to dump for sure, but the odds are pretty high. Whoever took this short up here at the top, too, 111,000. If you held it, didn't sell here, waited for the double top bounce, you're a G. You're a G. But look, I mean, you can kind of see the bearishness. We had bearish divergence. We double topped here, then we double topped again. See, I'm getting that bounce. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a small bounce. Wow. Bitcoin. Dump easy. I never like watching an asset that I love so much dump. Never, no matter what. But it is what it is. I don't mind helping you and teaching you how to long and short the market. Bitcoin is dumping due to the upcoming 1 p.m. Eastern Time 5-year Treasury auction for $70 billion in NVIDIA earnings after the close. Thank you. Yeah, the earlier short. Exactly. I use the news for the market sentiment. Exactly. Relax, Gerardo. You're funny. Look at that dump to the downside, man. 192 now. Looking like more lower lows coming for Bitcoin on the charts. And, you know, scared money don't make no money. You got to I trade probabilities. If I see a probability, I'm going to take it. Pay for my dinner today, you know, grab some extra, you know, whatever. It's compounding interest every time you make more money than you had before. Okay. When you trade, that could change any time. 100%. 100%. I only use news for market sentiment. Yeah, you see what other people are thinking. I agree. I mean, there's definitely something going on there. But for the most part, the charts will already tell you. You don't even need to know the news. The charts will tell you in advance what's likely going to happen. Any coin kind of showing strength today. We'll take a look. Ton coin up 1% despite up 14% in 24 hours. Doesn't seem to care about BTC. XDC network up a slight bit, but taking a hit throughout the week. Zcash. We'll look at ZBCN too. One of the that was a big mover throughout the last week. And we're going to take a look at gold too as well. Look at the dump to the downside though, and is that flushing through the NASDAQ? Let's take a look at the S&P futures. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ. Are we getting the same type of dump in this market? Yeah, a little bit there. We are getting the close on that daily, but you know, a little more forgiving because we have this. We're in this channel. You know, Bitcoin's. Honestly, you could almost say they were both in this symmetrical triangle, really, technically, though. I could see us lose this trend line and come down. But what I do see over time is just consolidation. Even if it takes, you know, it might be tighter, long, whatever, but I see consolidation and a big move coming. You know. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ. Same thing with the NASDAQ. We hit the top of the channel. Look, I mean, it made sense. We called that bottom, inverted head and shoulder. Likely we're going to come down now. Look, the NASDAQ could come all the way back to 21,200. It's a bigger move for most people, enough for them to even create bearish headlines, right? But that's what I see happening, a pullback right now. For the higher low, and then we can consolidate. That'll be the cup and handle. So I'm looking for the NASDAQ to pull back. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it rips out of nowhere, but it's likely to come back. So it's like, and again, I told you, like, a pullback is necessary. We've been pumping on almost every market for a while now. Everyone sells right now. The Brits sell in May and come back later on. You know, the end of May, right, in June. Not going to sit there and participate in the market all summer long. I haven't seen it. I always see a slower market June and July. Years and years of doing this. So, but whatever you'd like. Everybody, if you want to sign up and you want to start, DCAing, you want to buy Bitcoin for the first time, sign up and open up an account on Weeks, right? You could DCA. It's not even about futures trading. It's just about getting into cryptocurrency, right? No KYC, no VPN. Sign up today. It'll blow your mind. BitTinex too as well. Same scenario there. And BTCC. BTCC, you can trade the NASDAQ, Tesla, all these other fun things too as well. So that's pretty exciting. That's very exciting, actually, to tell you the truth, right? Oh my God, I love this. The discount on alts for swing trades. Hey, there you go. I like it. He's looking at opportunity. GME was looking good, and it's gone. You're funny. No one understands how the bond market is going to crash everything. I mean, it could crash. I don't think it's going to crash everything because it's going to change the demand. And the demand is shifting. You got gold pumping too and gold futures. So we're going to take a look at PAXG today on MEXC as well, which creates opportunity. You could trade PAXG. You could also trade gold on BTCC, right? So now crypto and TradFi are going to merge to the point where everything's similar. You're going to get opportunities in both markets. Even gold taking a slight pullback. So we're going to take a look at our DXY and see if the DXY is pumping today. Is it taking some market share? Slower many times. Things in the summer, even slower. Credit disputes at my jobs in the summer. You're funny. Even slower credit disputes at my jobs. See, there you go. Yeah. Blessings on blessings. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Right? He said, you used not to like leverage. What changed? I used to not like if there was a person I didn't like, and eventually we became friends. It's happened to me. One of my best friends, we actually got, we got a fight when I grew up. That's how we met. And eventually we became friends. So, I could change how I feel about things. Yeah. Check the coins from the Super Chats. Let's take a look at the Super Chats. Thank you for saying that. And the fan funding. All right. Wow, we have a lot coming in. Mic volume too low. Thank you, Jamie. We appreciate that. Mic check, Sammy. Mic volume is lower than the background music. Thank you for saying that yet again. Bang, bang, bang. We're going to make sure that volume on the mic doesn't drop ever again. Blessings on blessings. What will happen tomorrow with Cardano with the ETF decision? Will it jump 4% like ETH did? Will be more based of the price difference. I don't sweat the news too much. We'll take a look at the charts and see what the charts convey. Thank you so much, Carcoot Gamer. We love you. Hey, Lifer, can you look at Tau? Bit Tensor. Love from Belgium. Thank you so much. Let's look at XMR. So let's go slowly here, make sure we're not missing anything. We're going to look at Cardano, Tau, and then we'll move on from there and take a look at that next one there. Love from Belgium. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Bitcoin getting a little bit of a bounce here. Not a perfect short. And again, the market's not amazing today. It's a sketchy day, right? The original short was really kind of already paid. Now we're kind of finding out if we can find some type of bottom, some type of bullish div that can give us a bounce back to the upside here for BTC. Let's take a look at Cardano and Tau and see. People are asking, Cardano having an ETF today. That's got to be a big deal for it. What's happening? Are we getting a pump? I'd say Cardano falls, Bitcoin. ETF, SHMETF. It doesn't really matter. It matters what Bitcoin does. And you can see kind of clearly that this kind of has shoulder, head, shoulder behavior. Honestly, that could dump. I don't know if it's, if Bitcoin just takes a beat down, and that's going to bring Cardano back to 65 cents. So I see downside for Cardano. That's what the charts convey. I could be completely wrong, but that's what the charts are telling me. They're telling me that we got more downside for Cardano. That's it. If you look at that, just, boom. And how about the lighting here? Sin City Crypto really doing it professional with the background, the blue, everything looking fresh. You got to love it, man. You got to love it. Super nice of them to wake up. Rob has to wake up 6:30 in the morning to open the studio for me. The dedication is real. He sees how much I care about what I'm doing. He cares about the studio, what he's doing. Everyone, go to Sin City Crypto today. Give them some love. Some of them, the lifers. Say thank you, man. Say thank you for the lifers. Thank you for holding Sam down. You don't get this every day from people around the world, man. I know when you find some good people, and Sin City Crypto is the best, brother. They're the best. So, shout out to Sin City Crypto. Thank you so much for the space. Unbelievable. Really. A dream come true for a guy like me that travels around the world and, puts together a travel studio every time and, flies by the seat of his pants. This is just a dream come true. So thank you so much. 107,380 getting the bounce back. Not much love there. A little bit of movement, but not much love. I'll even bring that stop very close there. I don't need to lose no money. Today's Chop City. And I'm not making excuses, but honestly, I think you should use it as a teaching moment. If you're traveling, you're off on time difference, and, like last night, I got in super tired. I had to set up the stream and get it ready right when I flew in from 4 to 7. We got everything ready. Then I had to eat something, go home. Then I had to make sure we did a Bitcoin update. It was just a lot on my mind, and I really just did not have the moment to be like, hey, let me open up a trade right now. I said, let me get a rest. Let me position myself, see where I'm at here in Vegas, and then we'll go from there, right? Hola, Sam. Hola. Can you check XCN? I love that, man. I love that. So Cardano, it's going to follow Bitcoin. If Bitcoin takes a dump, Cardano's falling out somewhere down to 50 cents, maybe even to 60 cents. I have Cardano, but it's 2 cents. I don't like fudding it at all in any way, shape, or form. All these coins were starting to form these nice little flags, and it looked like, hey, all we have to do is form this little flag. Everything's going to be fine. Today, they're fudding the flag. They're breaking the trend line. It's not looking amazing. That could drop, and you got to start looking at that like a symmetrical, And yeah, a 62-cent Cardano is on the table here. Let's take a look at Tau BitTensor. So altcoins look good, but altcoins have been a lot harder to trade than they have been in the past. So BitTensor is better than most, right? Look, it's hanging out. It's still staying inside the pattern. It's above the 200 MA. It's going sideways. All is well for BitTensor as long as it stays above this trend line, as long as it doesn't close a candle below the 200 MA. We got a golden cross coming. This says yes. This says all is well. Bitcoin goes sideways, and BitTensor could continue to pump. So BitTensor is still good. Nothing really has changed. Better entry for the long. That's all I see. I want to see if Sol broke positional strength or if it's still staying strong. It's getting close, though. What I mean is, to me, Sol was in this beautiful flag. Looked like it was going to do some serious damage. It was looking beautiful. And now with this Bitcoin dump, you can see this could jeopardize this move. So we don't get a wick back up. Bitcoin can't reclaim 107.5 and really, get that pump for JD Vance in the next 36 minutes. We're in some trouble, right? For altcoins, for Solana, for most coins. Looks like we could get a pullback. What I'm loving about Solana, see tight moving averages, multiple higher lows. We bounced off this flag. That's bullish for me. So it almost looks like there's going to be just like they stop hunt. Like they want to just rock it down, see how much money they can get out of the market, see what prices they can get. Whoever these people, I don't know who they is. Everyone asks me that, but whoever has more money than me, that's who they is. Right? And get us up to about, $227 Solana. But this is sketchy. And we had double topped off the 200 MA here at 180. We're back at 170. Do you sell Solana for a gain? They make it tough to make a lot of money in this market. I've been in Solana. I got 170 grand in it now. I've been in it for so long, man. And it's like, to make $500,000 off of it, 200 grand off it's taken a while. I was up 200 grand, though, when Trump came out. But I was like, man, isn't the beginning? That rally still blew my mind, how Trump coin came out, and then it flushed all the altcoins. Like, we have to remember, this was an anomaly. We're still kind of suffering from that. Altcoins took a beatdown. They took a beatdown, everyone. Let's take a look at XMR, Monero. Monero's been quietly pumping on the sidelines here. And I've been in Monero for a long time. I actually have 12 Monero I can't access. It's like stuck inside a ledger. And look at this. I gave this trade for Monero right here. See this flag? Look at that. Someone asked me about a Monero. I drew a flag, said I see it breaking out to 250, 345. It was just really tight. Look how tight it was, tight moving averages. And there it went. And then it pumped all the way, had a bearish div, and came crashing back to the downside. Let's take a look at the bigger time frame. Delete my work. Get rid of the moving averages for a split second and see Monero for all it's worth. What's happening now? Well, the daily pumped. And it pumped, wow. The 21 kind of caught price. Usually the 21 doesn't follow prices as nicely. Wow, Monero. And, one of the biggest privacy coins in the game. And with a lot of stuff happening, people are seeing how big privacy can be. And that's giving it value, in my humble opinion. It bounces. Then we have ourselves a bit of a symmetrical. I guess it could make like a very nasty falling wedge type thing like this. But so you look for the bounce. It's getting more oversold. The RSI does have some space to go down, though. I'd be looking for it to consolidate. It's so bullish now compared to the rest of the market. And it's got its own narrative completely with basically privacy. So a lot of coins that aren't doing well, this could almost decouple slightly from the whole market. I'd watch it for the bounce here and then look for it to consolidate. And then if it did, 400 all the way up to 600 could be a beautiful move for Monero. And to see Monero finally getting this love, it's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Let's take a look at XCN and see what's happening to XCN. Onyx coin, right? I like this coin. It's getting very tight, though. Again, these setups look great. They look great until Bitcoin doesn't play ball. Beginners don't understand because they'll be in my group and the setups will play, and the setups will play, and then every setup will dump and they won't get it. It's like because Bitcoin's waiting, and Bitcoin's waiting its turn. Now, still a very aggressive entry right now to jump on in, but you have to understand that we could get a Bitcoin flush. Could even be a right shoulder. I like that we're oversold and the consolidation is good. It looked a lot better just 2 days ago when we were getting tight. These mainly break out, but I'm telling you, there's just been some sketchiness in the altcoin market. It hasn't as been reliable as it has in the past. I've been getting in and out faster. I've been taking swing trades quicker. I DCA into only stronger coins. I'm less likely to, I'm very wary of positions than I used to be. Let's take a look at MOODENG and XLM from Southern Yankee. Thank you so much. Let's take a look at MOODENG. MOODENG also looked good to me. It was getting tight inside the channel. But like as I say, Bitcoin will ruin the show. Like these looked beautiful. All they had to do was get a bounce, and they were going to get tight. Nice move coming. MOODENG fell out the flag. Didn't get stopped out, but it fell out the flag. Now is it going to stay inside and bounce back? If Bitcoin bounces, MOODENG will bounce back in. But to me, it fell out. You know, look, the short's still in control here. That was the bearish retest of the bottom of the trend line. Like it just barely retested 107.4, 107.5, and then it's collapsing down now. To me, the shorts are still in control. Bearish retest, send it lower. You can't seem to get back above the previous resistance support lines, and they became resistance. Support or resistance is taken over. That's going to dump MOODENG. That's going to dump every coin. You have to understand this. When Bitcoin starts to fall, it's going to hurt every position, no matter how good the position looked. It's unfair. It pisses a lot of people off. It's not fun. I get it. You know, we're in a trading group. We want massive gains all day long. Like, could we get a bounce like this? I'm open-minded. Let's watch it. The thing is, if it consolidates and if in a day or two we're over here, then I know it's worth trading. But it could easily just do a double top here and take a move down too as well. These are tiny coins that pumped quickly. Very, very small market caps. You see? So just, you know, take that with a grain of salt. Okay. Hola, Ahmed. God bless you, Ahmed. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate you. Appreciate your hard work and TA learning a lot. Thank you, Matthew A. It's very nice of you. Enjoy Vegas. What's going on with Toncoin? You know, it's got its own ecosystem. Could have been just, you know, people decided to buy it. You know, a bunch of whales decided, hey, it's a good price to get in. And maybe right at that moment, they kind of kept the price stable. So we'll take a look, even though the rest of the market's kind of doing a dump. We'll take a look at Toncoin. Thank you. And someone about XLM, I try not to do 2 super chats per super chat because then it would be a little crazy. Again, I just see it in this DCA zone. And I said it's a big coin with a large market cap. Look for it to take months to play out. I feel, but to me, the TA suggests that we will hold 22. We will hold 22. That's likely going to be your bottom, but we could easily get a wick down to 26. We could even wick and double bottom off of it. I don't love what I'm seeing, right? I like this DCA zone, and I stand by it still. But you got those, like, you know, you got this kind of bull flag. It says just 2-3 more days, and I kept saying that when I looked at altcoins. I said, man, 5 more days of sideways price action before we get the bigger move. You want to see Stellars really hold this previous support as resistance. Resistance right there, getting a bounce. It's just that's very sensitive area right there at 28 for Stellar. If it could hold 28, I could see a bounce. The flag doesn't look bad. The Stokes are oversold, and it's holding a higher low. It looks more bullish than most. I'll give it to you. I see kind of why you're asking. God bless the gang at the meetup. Thank you so much, man. Shout out to Stack McChange. Appreciate your hard work and TA learning a lot. Thank you so much, Matthew A. God bless you. Shout out to the 2,247 beautiful souls here on the live. Shout out to the Google algorithm that sends people learning to trade here. Shout out to anyone that jumped on in. 681 likes. You got to stay positive, everybody, every single day. This isn't an act. I don't do this just for me. I do this because this is how I actually maintain a beautiful, successful lifestyle. I push myself every single day, and I stay positive. There's always something positive out of the situation to be had every single time. You know, I was watching this short the other night, and the guy was like, my dad was hard on me. He said good for everything that happened, no matter how bad it was. I said, Dad, I fell off my bike. He said, good. He said, Dad, I spoke out at school, and I got detention. He said, good. How was that good? Good. Like, you got what you deserved. You learned your lesson. Next time you won't do it again. It's good. It's a good thing that you figured that out now. You know what I mean? There's a good thing in everything. So that's how we look at it. You know, ton actually was lower than a lot of coins. A lot of coins had higher lows and were doing great. This one kind of had that pump and then has been below it ever since. So it's a little offset compared to the rest of the coins in the cycle. When we look at it closely too, a bit of an Adam and Eve double bottom. It's not amazing. Has Adam and Eve vibes though. Could bounce and then boom. Low stochastics blasted to the upside on the daily. Did you get above a 200 MA on the 1 hour? On the 4-hour time frame? Yes, I mean the 4 hour blasted. The 3 hour blasted. Now I'd watch the 1 hour. and see if it can flag out. The rest of the market's somewhat bearish, but hey, what Bitcoin gets a pump. Bitcoin bounces. JD Vance, right? The JD Vance bounce. You never know. 107,279. The shorts aren't getting too much of a dump. Why didn't they get the push down? They had all this time. Why aren't the shorts in control? Why isn't this trade winning? Why are we still philandering here? Now, look, I see a reversal. This tells me to get out the trade. Shoulder, head, right shoulder. And my stop loss is a break even. I can't lose any money, you see? If anything, I could take lunch off the table. But that looks like you're going to bounce now back to the upside. And if later on today we get above the 1 minute 200 MA, I'm going to see my model and I might take it. A little sketchy with the price action today and the way we're getting information, but I could see Bitcoin get a move and then Ton get a bounce. Ton looks bullish. You got a golden cross. You're above 200 MAs on the bigger time frames. You've been waiting for this move. Looks like whales may have jumped in. I can see Ton booming out. Give it like 3 to 4 more hours, and then, it's touching the 21 again, and its next target's $4. Ton could be hot today. And that's what I'm saying. There's opportunity. See, we can't get down on Bitcoin's going to dump. Everything's down. We got to tell ourselves anything is possible. There's always opportunity in this market. We never know what could happen. And that's just how we have to do it. There's no other way. Yeah, looking at all this cool stuff back here, man. I love this place. I could live in here, man. It's so calm and quiet and just the setup is just really how I like it. It's beautiful in here. Rob did an amazing job. I'll film it and put it on Twitter if you guys want to see, and we'll show you the background of what's happening. Actually, you could film a background scene right now. Why not? Check it out. We'll post this to Twitter. Make sure I'm not showing anything on my. Here we are live from Bitcoin, Las Vegas. I'm here in Sin City Crypto Studio. I mean, look at the studio. Look at all the setups right here. Look at the beautiful LED walls that can be moved. Anything you need. Fireplace in the background. Little fireside chat. It's just amazing. They got the podcast mic. They got, I see right now 6 SMB7s. Every one of those mics is $700. This place is unbelievable. Unbelievable. They didn't hold back at all on this studio. Sam, do you see bearish divergence on the 1 week, 2 week? I do. Yes. I do. Yep. For sure. Last year, Bitcoin, yep, you never know. Stas, much love, brother. Thank you, Stas. God bless you. Want to make sure we're not missing any of these super chats. You said it was bullish at TA. Thanks. Thoughts of the Razu. Oh, yeah. We went over that, too, as well. Good learning moment in that content directory. Please, everyone watch that Rising Wedge video. It's going to change your mind. You're going to absolutely nail it. It's going to be absolutely like that. Because the Rising Wedge is precariously funny on the dump, but the way it comes out, it can take a big, nice pump to the upside. And you got to understand that the stochastics can teach you. Stochastics are high at the end of the wedge, then you're likely falling down. Stochastics are low at the end of the wedge. Give yourself a big pump. And the time frames. You look super tan today. Sin City Crypto has some sexy lighting in that studio. Thanks for always showing up. Like and subscribe. Shout out to Emily, learning to trade, smashing it. Dave Milligan. Dave, thank you so much, man. And shout out to the men. Right there. They're just right there. I see them right there. It's Dave and Rob right there. I see Dave right there. What's going on, Dave? Can we look at KEYCAT? Thanks, brother. We'll take a look at KEYCAT for you. Thank you so much. And thank you for that awesome 10 pound on the super chat. Very nice of you. $100 in chat revenue. You people are absolutely blessed. Thank you so much. Pay for my Ubers around town. You guys are awesome. Very, very nice. Let's take a look at KEYCAT. I liked PopCat recently. I liked KEYCAT. We had a nice little run up in these altcoins. There were some opportunities. Let's take a look at what happened to KEYCAT. Remember, the market's acting sketchy now, and everything's going to be watching Bitcoin. So if anything looked bullish and it got tight, KEYCAT looked nice. I will tell you, I'm not a fan of symmetrical triangles when the bottom is more flat than tall. You see what I'm saying? It's not always the best, personally. I've seen these roll over many, many times in my life. And so, remember, a lot of these coins are small. People thought altcoin season was coming. They believed in it, and then they're fickle. They're going to sell really fast. So don't get caught holding the bag. A lot of people are going to get caught holding the bag. This is the rally. No, it's not the rally. It could be the rally. Be careful. All right? Be careful. We got to look at tether dominance in the DXY right now. I'm going to blow your mind. We're going to teach you how you can figure out what's happening and when alt season is coming. It's very simple, and we're going to show you how. So look, the DXY is similar to what Bitcoin's doing, kind of in some chop. Let's start fresh again. I like to start fresh on the DXY. I'm going to use the 2-week chart. You really need the biggest time frames on the not the DXY, the tether dominance. I get them confused sometimes. Please forgive me. All right? Tether dominance. They do go hand in hand, but they are not 100% correlated. Right off the bat on tether dominance, I got this, awesome trend line for sure, right? Look at that. That's a bearish trend line for sure. You keep hitting it and getting rejected by it. Then I have this trend line. Kind of squeeze it in there a little bit. Like we didn't hit it there for whatever reason, but got very close. But this suggests that we could head further down that trend line. Or do we make a higher low on the 2-week chart? The stochastics on the 2 weeks say more downside, right? And that would suggest that we head all the way back down here to 294. So that's the level that I would be looking at there, 2.61. We take a look at the weekly. Wow. Look at that, though. We got this cup. We got this falling wedge. My mind sees a 618 retracement. I don't even have to pull it. Like I could see it right there. There was 786 on the Fibonacci. So wow. Tether dominance at the 786 fib. So what it could suggest is we do get a couple week pump followed by, the next bigger move. But you can see here, you can clearly add a support. You're on a bigger time frame. You're getting oversold on the weekly. Maybe time for some people to tether up a little bit here. All right? That's just what it says. I hate to be the bear. I don't want to sketch anyone out. I'm just got to show you what the markets are telling me. That's it. Now you're prepared more than you were before. You don't want to hear what you want to hear. Trust me. That's not going to get you where you want. You ever have a good friend, some guys with a girl, and the good friend says, hey, I don't know if that girl's that good for you. Look, she did this, this, and that. And if a guy didn't have a good friend, he'd be like, shut up, don't tell me what to do, I don't need anyone telling me about my life, That's why you want to have a good friend. And similar idea when you're looking at the charts, right? I just tell you what is out there so you can make the best decision. I give you more information than you had before. That's why we have friends, good friends. They give you more information than you had so you can make better decisions. Look at the 3-day chart. Low, high, higher, low. Curving up on the stochastics. That's somewhat bullish. The daily is I like the daily being overbought there. Could be our saving grace, but it could even just flip up and give us a little more move. See how there's a bit of a shoulder, head, right shoulder there? There's a cup and handle on the daily. I'm watching this closely, but it to me, it looks like we're getting some type of bigger dump for Bitcoin. And tether dominance could be making a couple week pump here. Now we want to look at Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance pumps for two reasons. When the market dumps, people run into Bitcoin, all right? Because they'd rather be in Bitcoin than altcoins because altcoins take a hit. Otherwise, too, when the market pumps so hard, people run into Bitcoin dominance. So it goes up for two reasons. But if you see that tether dominance is about to rise and Bitcoin dominance is about to fall, which we see in here on the daily right now, that tells me that we're going to see a move into tether. And it's telling us that there's a move to the downside here for Bitcoin for now. So right now, and you say, well, isn't that alt season? Yes and no. It's alt season when? So when you're looking for alt season, you're looking for Bitcoin dominance to be like this, but you're also looking for tether dominance to be like that too as well. You're looking for tether and Bitcoin dominance to both be overbought about the dump. Because why? Well, people are going to dump Bitcoin. They're going to dump tether. Where are they going? They're not going to the US dollar. They're going back in, right, into altcoins. So by watching the daily stochastics RSI, understanding your probabilities and using them, and juxtaposing this against tether dominance, we can get a good look of when we're going to get any type of altcoin season. Throw Bitcoin in there and see when Bitcoin's about to take a big rip. So what you're looking for is you're looking for Bitcoin to go sideways or a slight pullback while Bitcoin dominance is pulling back and tether dominance is pulling back. We're not getting that right now. Right now we're getting Bitcoin dominance wanting to give out and tether dominance wanting to rip. When they're juxtaposed oppositely, it tells us that money's going to flow into tether and out of Bitcoin and out of altcoins. So I would be telling myself to be a little wary here of this next move. what I'm seeing right now is telling us that there could be about a week at least of a pullback. So it looks like this week could be a red week for Bitcoin. We've had multiple green weeks. So you can't complain just because we have one red week here. Yeah, that's why you got to pay yourself when the getting's good. Put the money aside. I'm heavy in Tether right now. I sold that $44,000 yesterday, right? I stacked those Tether. And now I'm sitting on Tether. When the market dips, I'll be DCAing into the coins that matter. Into my SWI, into my Ondo, right? That's the plan. So my plan is to DCA into the coins that I've already convinced myself are the best in the game. And then we go from there. All right? Do you have a plan? If you don't have a plan, you're part of someone else's plan. If you don't have a plan, you could easily get rocked and wrecked. Things just won't go your way without a plan. I'm telling you right now, please get yourself a plan. I know it's hard. It's disciplined to plan. Everyone wants to just be a leaf on a stream and go wherever it goes, but you're not going to have a great life that way. You want to be in control. You want to have that Jim Rohn fire in you. You want to have that Sam Price go get him. All right? I was telling, Rob today too, being successful is a lonely road. When you really work really, truly hard, like, no one was here with me this morning when I woke up at 5 in the morning. I didn't have a bunch of assistants waiting on me. Maybe I could have probably hired someone in Vegas, need someone to come, whatever. But you know what I mean? At the end of the day, the more people you rely on, the more you can get let down. I'm not saying I don't rely on people. I'm not saying there aren't beautiful people here to rely on. But at the end of the day, my dad had this funny saying, right? It was, friends don't let friends become friends. And you'd be like, what does that mean? Like, what the heck is he saying, right? Does anyone know what that means? Friends don't let friends become friends. And shout out to all the super chats here. We got a lot of super chats. I really greatly appreciate it. You people are unbelievable. This is amazing. One of the biggest live streams in all of cryptocurrency, man. 2,069 people still on the live. 750 likes. Can we get the likes up to the watchers? I would greatly appreciate it. The short is still there, but we didn't get taken out the short yet. This has been crazy price action, right? I'll give my final Bitcoin prediction before I jump on out of here as we head towards the end of the stream. We got 15 beautiful minutes, though. We're going to fill them with a lot of information. So stay tuned for that and stay blessed. Everyone's saying, too, the 10-year yield, everyone's sweating the debt in America, right? My thing is this. The dollar is strong. It's around the world. But the more and more people use the dollar, the more dollars they need. The more dollars they need, the more dollars they need to print. If the dollar keeps expanding like it is, more countries are using it, and you're going to print more money, period, number one. You need to print more money, too, because they keep doing stupid. Hopefully they're done, but, look at all those insane money printing bills that they kept passing. Every time the government prints more money and passes bills to print more money, they take money out of your pocket. That's it. That's it. There's only 21 million Bitcoin. The reason why it's awesome is because there's only 21 million of them. You see what I'm saying? That makes it cool to have one. Because you know in your heart that it's scarce. And not everybody's going to have one. But if they just somewhere out of nowhere just doubled the entire amount of Bitcoin, then it wouldn't be so scarce anymore. And you would lose your value. You would lose half your value if they doubled it. They have done more than that to the US dollar. In the last 2 years, I think they printed more. In the last 4 years, they printed more than they had printed in its entire life cycle. Imagine if Bitcoin had made more Bitcoin in 4 years than it had made in its first 7 years. You'd be a brokey holding Bitcoin. It wouldn't work out. It would be a bad look, right? So that's kind of what I see. That's why I stay away, and I started getting out of the dollar in 2010. I could see that we had problems, man. Things weren't going perfect. And I said, if I keep putting my value in something that's devaluing, like I work really hard, they give me $100. 2 years later, it's less than the $100 I worked for it. That's not going to cut it. It's not the best thing. I mean, it's not good science. All right? So once you see that the math isn't working, you shouldn't be putting your money into it. That's like, you know what I mean? That's like, say your friend said, hey, can you invest in my company? And you're like, yeah, sure. And every time you go to the meeting, they're bleeding out. And they're just getting worse. And you're like, dude, why am I investing in this company? Like, it's getting worse. And he's like, don't worry. Like, what do you mean don't worry? Like, so, and imagine working hard and he gave you shares in his company, but every week he did more things to make the company less solvent. Why the heck would you want to put your money in that? It doesn't make any sense to me, does it? And you don't deserve to do that to yourself. You work too dang hard. You want to put your money into something that can keep the money long term. Your money deserves that. Look, this short's looking like it's going to eventually play out here. Has not been easy to hang out in the short. Can't believe we're still inside the trade. Let's see if we can get this one pumping, man. The target is 106,118. The first place I would look at is 106,700 to take some profits. I'm trading live here on BTC.D. So if you like BTC.D, this is a beautiful place to trade. Really, really good user interface. The fees are a little higher, 0.04, and the maker 0.014. But I'll be honest, I feel like they could trade higher. They could charge higher fees. They got a better interface. Beautiful. Look how fast this is moving. Everything is rocking. You got to like it. The server's speedy. Really good place. Thank you to the subscribers. Everyone, we're on our way to 100,000 subscribers. I'd greatly appreciate each and every one of you. If you subscribe to the channel, it would mean the world to me. Every single day here, no days off, constantly, no matter what. JD Vance is going to be coming on right as I get off, too, and you can jump on into Bitcoin Magazine, and you can watch that and see what's happening there on Bitcoin Magazine. 96,935,000 subscribers. And I just like to show the live count here because I really think it gets people going. And this is one of the most inspirational pictures you'll ever see in your whole life. If anything you've ever seen, look at my channel. When I started the first year, we got to 113,000 subscribers, 113 subscribers my first year. September 9th of 2019, I decided to put a channel online. And that journey began. And look at that journey, baby. On our way to 99,000, 100,000 subscribers. We're at 96,937. Can we get to 97,000 subscribers here in Bitcoin Las Vegas? I'm pretty sure we could definitely get there. Please subscribe to the channel. It'll come back to you tenfold. I'm putting everything I have into this. You know, I'd greatly appreciate it. And again, God, thank you for everyone that has subscribed. Thank you for this 96,939 times the button's been hit. I am so blessed, and thank you so much. I'm so grateful for every one of you that shows up every single day and makes this stream happen. I still can't believe that I'm the Crypto Lifer. And I'm not just Sam Price. This has just been a journey on journeys. I wish everyone follows their dreams, goes after something bigger than themselves, and changes their life in a way they never thought possible. It is the best way to live. There's no other way to do it. And we love you. Oh, we're going to 100,000 subscribers, man. For sure. By July 4th, we're going to hit 100,000. Yeah. What do you think JD Vance's speech will do to Bitcoin? Honestly, I don't have too much, speech to Bitcoin. You guys think he's going to talk, it's going to rip, right? I'm always weird. I'm looking at the charts. Hey, we've had a dump recently. They're setting the path for a short squeeze back to the upside, possibly. But look at the charts. Hey, maybe we just do a monster rip back to the upside. Right now, I'd say nothing. I'd say people kind of know he's pro-Bitcoin. People know, honestly, he's pro-Bitcoin, but he's a little more fluff with the Bitcoin. I'll be honest, I like JD Vance. I'm not against him, but I never hear him full-blown. He likes Bitcoin. Don't get me wrong. And Trump's the man, but I don't know, man. I don't think it's, my instincts tell me not a lot. But you never know. What if we get a huge bounce? There's a chance. There is a chance. So we gave the gains. Now we give the likes. 100K is right around the corner. Thank you so much, man. God bless you, brother. Okay, so, wow, the short's still in control. And, wow, someone just gave 20 memberships. Sar Tempor gifted 20 memberships to the lifers. You guys can hit that and turn green. We gave the gains. Now give the likes. You know what? I'll do a private live stream from the suite. So if you're a member, you're going to get into the private live stream. I'm going to do a members-only live stream from the suite at one point. All right? Got a beautiful suite, man. 2 queen-size beds in a jacuzzi, 1 king-size bed in a jacuzzi. They meet in the middle with a beautiful living room, 1,500 square foot hotel room. It's unbelievable, man. Bigger than the hotel, bigger than the apartment I lived in for 10 years, which is crazy, right? Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for being here. We did give you a live short on the channel. It's been battling, but you can't say you're not in the gains if you took the short. Let's go. Let's go. $19,000 position. We'll see where that can go. And send us further down to about, 106,006. Take profit could take us to $106,000 for Bitcoin. So people think there's going to be this awesome, stunning chilling in that tub. I know, right? There's a 95% Bitcoin dumps as soon as JD starts talking. Lately, that seems to be the case with anytime these people talk about Bitcoin, it tends to go down the twos, man. Thank you so much for all the people jumping on in, becoming new members. That's awesome. God bless each and every one of you. That I really, really appreciate that. God bless you all. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. You guys have no idea. It's nuts. Bookmap's got liquidity all the way back down. It's got a red bar at 106,000, 106,720. I'll be posting Bookmap, I'll be posting Bookmap to the trading group, though, because I have it on my laptop, so have no fear. Throughout the day. We got a busy day, though. I got to do a bunch of interviews, meet some people, too, so it's going to be a lot. And I'm going to take you through the event, too, as well. We're going to have a blast, so stay tuned for that. Do a little live streaming like I do, handheld live streaming through the event. Funny, bigger than my house, yeah. Best channel in the game, keep it real since the podcast. God bless you, thank you. Thank you. And I think we got every single super chat out there. We're able to figure out that Bitcoin was bearish. Open up a live short here, and we're battling the charts live on BitTinex. Trading BitTinex today. Sign up to BitTinex today. You'll absolutely love the experience and the user interface. One of the best I've ever used when it comes to trading. No KYC, no VPN. Simple and easy. Right here in front of you. Ready to go. And I see now I see even more downside. Look at this. I mean, that just made a little bit of a bear flag, and it breached the trend line. Like, I see more downside for Bitcoin. I don't see reversals at the present moment in time. They played games with the shorts, but eventually they stayed true to the direction they were going, and I see more downside here for BTC. I hope you came here and got the sauce you wanted. I hope you got exactly what you looked for here as you came to the show. And, you wanted to know where Bitcoin was going to go. You eventually got your answer, right? So there you go. To the downside was the call. So far, it looks like we may be right on that call. Probability is in our favor at the present moment. All right. And we went over Forex Factory. We do have something to look forward to Thursday morning there at 8:30, Eastern time, and Pacific time, Pacific Daylight Savings Time. We have 5:30 in the morning unemployment claims. That's going to be Thursday, though, right? That's going to be Thursday. Shout out to the views. I show you the 777s every time I'm live. Look at that. Views, 10,777. You can't beat that, man. Shout out to the 10,000 views already on the stream. Are you kidding me? Already 10,000 views. God bless you all. Chat rate 33. Let's get that chat rate up. Where are you all from in the world? Let's show the people where we're from. Haven't done this in a while. Roll call for Bitcoin. Where are you guys from in the world? I want to see how many people we have, how international this entire chat is. Let's see it. Let's see it. Enjoy your time, Sammy. Sam the King. God bless you, man. Justin, FTX to be distributing over $5 billion in stablecoins to creditors. I mean, that's awesome, right? Because if they're distributing stablecoins, I think those people would buy cryptocurrency with that money. We got someone from Bulgaria, El Salvador, Connecticut, Albania, Iraq, Lithuania, Cali, Holland, Netherlands, Rockwell, the Netherlands, Tampa Bay, Sin City. I love that. Yeah, Southern California, Swiss, Des Moines, Iowa. Wow, I almost have to go back. Nigeria, Algeria, Tampa, Sin City, Cincinnati, Afghanistan, Devon, England, Sweden, Tampa Bay, Florida, Dayton, Ohio, Andorra, Sammy, Albania, Brazil, Miami, Tampa Bay, Florida again, North Korea, New Mexico, Palestine, New Netherlands, Ocala, Australia, Port Charlotte, the Netherlands, the Bay Area, Delaware, Bay Area to Texas. We have every state. Durango, Mexico, Scotland, Connecticut, Wisco, Texas, yeah, baby, Vancouver, Puerto Rico, Georgia, England, Brazil, Peru, Moon, Philadelphia, France, Reno, Nevada, Thailand, the Netherlands, Pensacola, India, Turkey, Miami Heat, baby. Tony, I love you, man. There you are. St. Augustine, nice. Boston, baby. Captain 23, Slancha, Colorado, Anchorage, Alaska, South Africa, Thailand, Tennessee, Kosovo. This is insanity. Indonesia, Toronto, Canada. Go Pacers. Yeah. Guantanamo Bay, the Philippines. A theater near you. Someone's in Guantanamo? Kenya, Indonesia, Dominican Republic, Taiwan, Norway, Wales, Liechtenstein, Minnesota. Wow. Strong Island, baby. This is unbelievable. You people are insane. I love this. It means the world to me. God bless everybody here on the live. 8:58 in the morning. And we're already rocked out the live stream. I can't believe that. So different here on the West Coast. Super chats for Whiff. We'll take a look. We got Mexico, Dagestan, London, Tampa Bay Pickleball King, J Soul 84 in the house, the Pickleball King of Tampa Bay. Man, this guy's from McDonald's. He lives there. Jerkistan. I don't know what that's all about. Norway in the house. Fart boy. And we're going to take a look at that last super chat. Whiff looked nice. It was tight, but if Bitcoin keeps dumping like I said it would, and the charts are conveying a move to the downside here, we did nail the direction of the chart. We nailed it. Let's take a look at Whiff here. You got what you came here for. And we also see there's a possible bigger pullback for Bitcoin. And it is what it is. Whiff looks great. I like the consolidation. I have an alert on it. If it can bounce, so be it. And again, I'm not overly bearish. You never know. Maybe he says something amazing today and Bitcoin does get the bounce. I'm open-minded. We'll do our last little Bitcoin update here before I jump out of here. Whiff looks like it's going to M pattern its way to the downside here. That's the thing about a pennant. It looks as good, but it's got to dump. And that's why I wait for the bounce. Not dump. It's got to bounce and hold that trend line. That looks like it can make an M pattern now. And then you could end up somewhere back down at 71 cents. Could have made a quick cash grab for these altcoins. We did come from the bottom. Remember, we've been pumping for a while. Now there's going to be some higher lows in our way on out of here. It's never just one way. Let's take a look here at, and so yeah, I see the daily rolling over. And I see the daily taking a dump. I really do. It's going to challenge 106.7, and then once it loses that, you're going to see $104,000 Bitcoin. Look, these are your daily levels. That's basically a double top with a lower high. That's bearish. There's a chance yesterday we could have bounced off the bottom of the trend line. And everything could have changed had that bounced. You see what I'm saying? But we knew to watch the 1 hour 200 MA. That's what your update was yesterday. That was the key level to be watching very closely. So does Bitcoin get some type of miraculous bounce out of nowhere here? There's a chance. I've seen it. JD Van says something unreal and we just rip. Because we dumped so hard this morning, they're kind of setting up for a possible reversal. Look at this. You kind of double bottomed here. Adam and Eve yet again. Every time it looks bearish and it starts to dump, they get a pretty quick recovery. Again, we don't have to do anything till we break above the 200 MA on the 1 minute time frame. Once we get above that, look for the 21 to cross and a flag to be created, and that's going to be our first positional strength for the bulls. So I'll be watching for that. If we get that, I will long. I love my strategy. I'm not my new, but I started doing maybe 3 years ago and solidified it because the old me would take so many more basically high risk shots that I didn't need to take. Now I just wait for the higher probability idea. Now long in this is like basically you're a legend. You long the bottom right now. Remember, I'm stopped out at break even. Nothing can happen to me here on the trade. We can either win if we get a nasty dump. We're covered. We pump back. We can flip long again at no cost to us. So that's why we're in the position that we are on the trade. Bit of a double bottom here on the 1 minute. It seems like 107,000 is attempting to hold here for Bitcoin. Major resistance though right there. Like you got to get back above 108. There's a high volume node right here. 108,050, 108,000. You get back above that, we can complete a move further to the upside. I'll be around throughout the day, everyone. I'll be showing you guys what I see happening in the altcoins. And, we'll break it down for you guys. So I love you all. Thank you so much for jumping on in and being a part of the live. I appreciate you all for being here, and I thank you so much for being amazing, amazing supporters of this live stream. Unbelievable. Shout out to the 1,778 people still on the live, 924 likes, $100 of chat revenue. We had a beautiful live stream today. People from all around the world. Amazing. 5 minute wants to hold 107.2 BTC. ETH is in a massive inverted 5 minute head and shoulder, about to reverse. Let's take a look at ETH on the 5 minute. You say it's in a massive inverted, about to reverse. Let's take a look here on MEXC. Yeah, I see what you're saying. And I think you're spot on with that. That's an inverted head and shoulder right there for Ethereum. And it's kind of setting up for like something JD Vance says, and then Bitcoin pumps, and then Ethereum follows, right? Boom. I expect a move here. 68% chance that's going to pump. I got a feeling to get out of the short completely. Look, I'll move my stop loss into profit. Could be bearishly retested again, but they keep playing around with this price action. I'll take my $30. We'll see what happens. Banana USDT, please, Sam. God bless you, brother. Let's take a look at Banana. Thank you. Aaron sends a super chat at the very end. Hey, it's all right. Thank you, Aaron. Let's take a look at Banana USDT. The work never stops for the weary. Wow, today's the Lifer meetup, too. I just can't believe that. I'm going to meet so many people that are going to have so many cool things to say. My mind's blown right now. You know, Banana Coin is in a nice little bull flag, though. I see what he's got us going on here. I mean, that's looking interesting. It's looking like it could pump on the 1 minute time frame. So Banana looks good to me. So you might have seen what I saw, a possible scalp on the 1 minute to 25 and further up. If you're sad to see him leave and cry when he goes, just join the 99 right after the show. Hey, everyone, you can go to cryptolifer.com, okay? Go to cryptolifer.com to jump on in and find out more. All right, that's where I'm going to be every single day. You can subscribe to a monthly, a quarterly, or an annual subscription to my Discord, where I'm there all day long. You can find out where I'm going, what I'm doing, what's happening. It's a blast. All right, just did, brother. Shout out to Straight White Male. We love you, man. Shout out to Love Learning. Shout out to Marcinelli. Shout out to Crypto Baby and all the beautiful people here on the live. I love you all. I wish we could have made massive gains today, but not every day is a great day to trade. Some days are a day for watching, getting ready, and positioning ourselves. We can see what Bitcoin could be doing. Ethereum looks like it's about to make a move. I see Ethereum about to make a move to 2665. I might even trade Ethereum today. It looks better than anything else. But stay tuned for more. We're going to see what JD Vance says. He's going to start literally in the next few minutes. I'm going to go from there. I could be live watching it right now, but I got to do what I got to do, man. I got my own hustle that I got to be on top of. Everybody, I love you. Thank you so much for jumping on in and being a part of this amazing, awesome live stream. I'm going to flip it. You know, Bookmap actually just got liquidity above us all the way at 107.7. So Bookmap switching, where there's some short liquidity above us now that may get sniped. So there you have it. You heard it here first on the channel. But right now, the bears are in control until the bulls can get us back above like 107.5. Literally, my main resistance area, 108K. Until then, the bulls have to step up and show us that they can get this move further to the upside. I like it now. That double bottom, bit of a cup and handle there. Could we get the pump? Starting to look interesting for BTC. Thank you so much for coming to the live. Thank you for supporting me and being here every single day, sharing your most precious assets with me, and that is your minutes. Remember, I studied every billionaire, not every, but a lot of billionaires, multimillionaires, and even people that are just like school teachers that they don't make tons of money, but they do what they love to do with their lives. And, you know, those people, successful people, man, consistency. And you know what I found out about them? There was a secret to every single person's success. Every single person that ever made it, ever did anything with their lives. You know what that secret was? Getting started. The secret to success is getting started. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. I love you all. Have a great day. God bless. Thank you so much, everyone. I'll be back tomorrow.